I just want to make sure everything's all right on our side in the background. How's your new year so far?
Got married. Um, got, started off with a new communion, which is good. And then was sick like for 10, 15 days. Now just getting into the New Year's, so it's good.
Perfect, perfect.
Yours?
Well, congratulations. Yeah,
Thanks.
last time we spoke, you mentioned it on the phone, which was a good surprise, but congratulations on that. So this year is going to be a superb year for you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, man.
All right, cool. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Taron. What we want to do in this particular live stream is kind of discuss about the state of XR and what some of the potential um, changes we would expect pretty much from a hardware perspective. And before we actually get into the conversation, what I would like to do is give you the chance to do a quick introduction of yourself. You know, the uh, what you guys are involved as far as XR is concerned, and then later on we can talk about some of the perspectives and some of the cool new gadgets that are coming out. So let's go ahead and start from there.
Nice. This is fun. Thanks for organizing it. Thanks for the opportunity. Uh, these live things I always end up doing with you first. We did the first LinkedIn live together, and
That's
now
right.
first YouTube live. So good on the initiatives. Cool. Okay, I'm Taron, founder at Knoxlabs. Uh, I've been in the XR industry for about 10 years. From initially worked on manufacturing Google cardboards, and then on the development side, um, uh, like web VR development, um, native development, and then now on the distribution, marketing, and sales side. So at Knox, we help. Goal is to become the number one place for XR transactions, whether for consumer or um, businesses. Um, and now we have uh, a direct to consumer site for buying anything XR. And we have a Pro XR side for businesses to buy solutions that make sense. So like the headset with like the software and the offering. And we do a bunch of stuff in like the back end services to make sure that when you get the headset as a business, it's configured and working, and you don't have to do much. And in between, we do marketing and distribution as well. It's kind of like doing a startup in XR is like triple worse than doing a normal startup because the industry itself is a startup. So if you want to do one thing, you end up doing like the whole horizontal like gamut of it. So now like the concentration is on marketing, sales, distribution. So launchpad for new brands or boosting existing brands sales in the US.
Great. Thank you for that, Darren. And you're right. I mean, the industry is expanding so much, so greatly. And this year, you actually had the opportunity to visit CES 2025 in Las Vegas. What was some of the takeaways that you had from that particular event? Anything interesting that you have seen? I know it's a very large show, but anything interesting that you have seen that would have a major impact in this upcoming year?
Um, One, I didn't get a chance to like fully walk the floor because too many meetings, and I was sick along the way too. But it's much more mature. Like the conversation isn't more about like the next cool gadget in XR, but like adoption. So there's like a lot of conversation about like integrating XR in different verticals, different industries. A lot of the industries were already much more mature than previously. But like on the gadget side, non-XR side is like there's a lot of vacuums, like robotic vacuums. It was like a whole floor dedicated to it. So that was like the the non-XR takeaway. XR side, there's like one interesting company. They had like an Android XR headset. It was a Chinese company. I didn't get to try it. My colleague did. It was interesting. I haven't tried like Android XR myself, so I don't know how much it differs from like, or how much better it is versus like a Steam VR base running.
Yeah, good. I was hoping you had an opportunity to actually visit some of the, because Android XR was recently just announced, and I wasn't sure if there's other companies outside Samsung, because I believe Samsung was the primary hardware provider that's gonna kind of run the Android XR. But you're saying that there's other companies, like smaller companies, that might be into that. That would be fabulous if that's the case. So we would have multiple headsets. But I was hoping you had the opportunity to like stop by at the Samsung floor to check out the new device that's coming out, which is supposed to be a competition to it would, yes, Muhan. Yeah, it looks really nice. It looks really pretty from a aesthetics perspective, and also Samsung uh, is one of my favorite, electronic manufacturers out there. They have really good quality, so I'm looking forward to that device. I'm not sure if you had the opportunity to actually have some hands-on demos or experiences on that to see how it actually feels.
Not yet with the Samsung. The one that was there that was playing with VR with Android XR was the Chinese company Play for Dream VR, I think. Yeah.
A full dream.
Play for Dream.
Let's check them out.
Yeah, but on Samsung side, did you see the news today on Google purchasing part of HTC for 250 million?
No, I didn't see that. I mean, I'm more on the software side. That's why I love to have these discussions with you. You're more on the hardware side. So yeah, enlighten me, please.
So yeah, it was a TechCrunch article last night that came out. So Google purchased, let me open it up. So they purchased some IP and like acqui-hired HTC's Vive's engineering team.
Interesting.
For 250 million.
Wow.
So the deal involves like transferring some of the HTC Vive engineering staff to Google and granting non-exclusive intellectual property rights. So HTC will return rights to use and develop the tech as it does. But it's like a acqui-hire in a sense to like accelerate like the Android XR platform. I think like initially with like headsets and then probably with glasses. So it's a similar move. I think they pulled with like Pixel before. I'm don't quote me. I'm not too sure here. Like they kind of bought the HTC hardware and the team and kind of like grew into there. It's good news, really good news, because it shows that like they're serious. And I've like worked with Google before on the, like with the Google Cardboard team. Initially, it was like in 2014. We ended up manufacturing a lot of those cardboards, but worked closely with the Google team, and there was like a startup, an internal startup there. And I started grow from like a 3-person team to like a large like unit that was like that went into like developing the Daydream, Google Daydream, and they were getting into like more serious hardware, and then it was just cut off. So I've seen like what it can mean when a big company goes in with like momentum, and then just the next day it's like dead. Like we couldn't even update our like we couldn't even find who was managing the website on Google that had like our company linked to it. So it's just like complete cut off. But with this kind of investment, this kind of move, it seems like it's they're making a long play into it. They're also, I know there's some talk behind the doors where they got a lot of staff from Magic Leap as well. And Google was one of their moonshot investments was Magic Leap early on. I think they were Magic Leap's first like large investor when Ronnie Albovitz was like when he started Magic Leap. So they're making a play on both on the hardware side from both the glasses angle, which is Magic Leap, and the headset angle, which is HTC. And they're completely different techs, right? Like with Magic Leap, you have actual see-through glasses where AR is being done. So it's not a projection, which is more about like true AR, like direct photon to eye. As versus on the HTC side is a initially a pure VR play, and you might see like some pass through on the screen type of glasses as well. So they're going in full long tail. So it's good news.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really nice initiatives, especially in the past year or so. This year, I think there's going to be a lot of big pushes in the industry to start deploying much more of the technology into the workforce. So I think a question I have for you, and I want to get your perspective on it. So this channel, if you have the opportunity to take a look at it, is for people who want to get into the industry, and whether they are like young professionals who want to get into the industry, or they are working professionals, but they want to switch over their careers, right? Get into the domain. What would be some of your advice or your feedback as far as if somebody comes up to you and asks you, okay, how should I get into this domain? What are some of the pros? What are some of the cons? What they should be looking for? What are your thoughts on that?
question. So there's two ways into getting the industry right. Is one on the implementing the technology in your like stack, or actually developing technology for the industry. Let's divide it up, and then we can come to it from both angles. So getting into the industry from the builder side, there's two parts there, right? Is essentially hardware and like software, and then like services in the middle. So if you want to build something, even hardware, it's possible. Like it's not the old, hardware is hard, don't do it. I think we've seen a lot of like refactoring of that, where it's actually if the thing makes sense, you can you can even like go in and like develop your own headset. It's the components and like the infrastructure exists for you to be able to go in with a hardware play, like a very specific hardware play, right? You see a lot of like new players like in the wearable market, like Ami and Friend, like wearable like AI devices. You see like hardware play with headsets from like big screen, right? Specialized headsets for like specialized things. Like they don't make the whole hardware. It's just a wrapper. Like a lot of it is a wrapper of existing things that put together nicely for the industry. And you also see like from the builder side, like we had this guy named Michael, and I'm gonna do like a podcast with him too. And this like speaks true to the heart of like why I spent so much on Knoxlabs and like what it means is so Michael came to us. He's like a student in his 20s. Okay, he's like, I want to launch a head like gloves. I want to build gloves, and he's showing me like these gloves. Like the concept is like whatever you hit when you have a controller on, it doesn't like the control doesn't fly out and you don't hurt your hand. Okay.
Okay.
Like so he's
Safety
like
glove.
safety gloves. He called it protective gloves. So he's like, I don't know where to like launch this from. Like he's like, I approached like a few places that sell like VR XR hardware, and no one took me seriously. I don't know where to go. Like, and he doesn't have like enough like resources to do a Kickstarter. It's like too much. So like he had just like written us an email, and we saw it, and then I'm like I want to help him. Like that's the help is not might not be the right word. Serve him, serve him to, because we all get to choose who we serve, right? Like when
Sure.
what we serve,
Of
like
course.
how we direct our curiosity and our time. To serve him so he gets that out, and it spoke so true to my core, and the core of what Knoxlabs is um, getting something like that where it's like it's just like pictures with an iPhone, right? And like videos of him just talking about it, and getting him to like
Guiding and advising
guiding
how.
him, yeah, listing the product, helping him with like marketing, sending it to our existing buyer list. So like doing a pre-order, helping with distribution, like all the steps necessary to get like his product out. He obviously like went and like manufactured it with like he found like a factory that could build it and stuff. But that front end side, we helped get that out. Like so, like he didn't have to do Kickstarter, and like now it's like on Knoxlabs, you can pre-order it, and he actually had his first order yesterday or 2 days ago.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it was cool. Like
Yeah,
it's like
that was very nice.
and it speaks to like that's like the platform is there for anyone to launch. That's the thing. Like I want to help people launch what they're thinking. Like uh, it shouldn't be hard to do so. Like,
Yeah.
So coming back to the thing, so you can launch as a builder, yeah, like with just any product. You put it to your pre-order and go for it. As from the software side, on like the MetaQuest, Apple Vision, those channels, HTC Vive, um, those stores are pretty empty. Okay, if you were to compare it from a how you would look at like at an app store. So if you were to look at it as like payout per developer, right? Like how many developers it takes to develop the app and how much they get per sale in a sense. In VR, it's about like I don't know, for Fortnite you might have like $50. In VR you might have like 100,000. So like a 5-person team in VR can make a multi-million-dollar game or multi-million-dollar experience that has less competition, and has higher chance of succeeding. So like a small team can make a really profitable experience. And yeah, so that's like both the market is craving it and the developers are lacking there. So it's a really good time to get into developing VR applications. Like you shouldn't be swayed away because like the stores don't have that many. It's a great thing. There's a lot of eyes there that are like looking for new things. It might not
Yeah,
be billions, but it's millions.
absolutely. No, and and if you don't mind, I'm gonna add a couple of things on that side because that's kind of
Yeah,
what
and
we
then we can go on
offer.
the buyer side.
And then we can switch over to the business side of things. So
Yeah.
you're absolutely right on that. I mean, uh the market as far as the VR or AR market is concerned, it's super young still. Even though I mean it seems like it's convoluted right now for us, people that have been in the industry for some time, but comparatively to other app stores out there, it's basically at its baby infancy. So
Mm.
there's not too much applications, there's not too many games, there's not too many of anything, right? So it's a great opportunity for anyone to be able to uh, materialize their ideas and be able to actually develop and deploy it onto these marketplaces. One other really nice caveat, again, where this channel primarily is concentrating in, is how easy it is now to actually develop these applications compared to what it used to be like about 10 years ago, for example, right? It's like pretty easy for anyone with some basic knowledge and skills. Obviously, you have to have some understandings and etc. But if you do have the passion, you have the idea, and you have the motivation, it's going to be super easy for people to learn the tools, the skills, and be able to develop and publish in the store. So
How
there's
easy,
huge
Vahe?
opportunities
Yeah,
over
go
there.
ahead, sorry.
Yeah. So there's huge opportunities over there because the tools, the frameworks, the SDKs have become uh, so user friendly, right? So I mean, things that used to take specialty and real high knowledge of technical skills and knowledge to be able to pull off are now pretty much out of the box, ready to go, right? So it's super easy for people to actually get into it, to be able to um, work on their existing ideas and take those ideas and actually make them come to reality, right?
Mm.
And, and today with AI, right? I'm not sure if, well, I know you play around with AI with as well, but the AI tools that we have do help you on the productivity scale. And so a really good, knowledgeable person with good skills, empowering this AI tools can multiply the outcome and the productivity of that particular individual drastically. So I'm not sure how that's affecting you guys in your business, but in our business, it's pretty it's pretty insane actually. What we can do with those tools and the uh, opportunities that it provides from a developer's perspective, right? To be able to quickly look up stuff and apply them. Uh, it's crazy.
How easy is it to like, look, I've always shied away from like Unity and stuff. Like that's why like my previous startup called Rodan, it was like a JavaScript way of building 3D stuff without knowing like any 3D. I never got to try it, but I was trying to like build something alternative because I was always like so scared of that
Yeah,
that Unity application and interface, man. Like it's still
yeah,
scary to me. Like I don't want to open it. And when I see you open it, like when we were like at that cafe together, remember like you have like this cool laptop where it's like double screens on the bottom,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
you had your like environment, and then you're like coding on the bottom screen, and I'm like, damn, like I don't want to be like doing that. Like that's not how I want to be making 3D. But
Yeah.
how is it like now? Like, are there like, is it easier? Like, are there like AI tools that make? Is there like a GPT for Unity that makes like deploying an app easier possible? Because like now there are like tools like kind of like lovable.app or something where you can just with natural language just
Yeah.
uh, spin up an instance like even like locally or on the server where like it's like an app. Is it like that in
Yeah.
Unity
No,
now?
great question. So Unity has evolved substantially over the past few years. And with the latest release, Unity 6, I'm not sure if you had the opportunity to check it out. But with Unity 6, the actual uh, complexity of developing any of this application has been drastically lowered, right? So they have now like a lot of templates, right? Templates out of the box. In fact, actually, those are some of the things that we cover in this channel. So make sure to like and subscribe. Uh, uh, so like and subscribe, and some of the videos that we have done last year, we primarily concentrated on introducing the preliminary fundamental concepts of how to get started on any type of Unity project, right? So you need to have some basic foundational knowledge on those things, right? So there's a bunch of series over there. Whenever you guys get a chance, take a look at it. That actually gives you a really good way to come up to speed with the technology and some of the important aspects of things that you need to be aware of. We are not going to be teaching you programming, so you should know programming already coming in, right? This is assuming that you already have some basic fundamental programming skills, technical knowledge, and you know your way around, um, 3D applications or computer in general, then you're good to go, right? The concentration is how to apply those skills now inside Unity and how to utilize Unity to make it easier to create any type of 3D applications. So as far as VR is concerned, with Unity 6, Unity came up with a couple of really nice templates that you can actually download. These templates are very effective, and it's a really good place to actually get up and running and actually experiment with them. And if it's the first time you're getting into the field, again, assuming that you have some background knowledge as far as development, technical knowledge, then it should be very easy for you to pick up what's happening, especially with OpenXR. Last year, when we talk to each other as far as enterprise applications were concerned, right? So when it comes to enterprise applications, things are a little different. You still need to do substantial amounts of work. But for an individual with an idea, like a consumer-oriented like product, or let's say they want to come up with like a small game, or any type of VR application, uh, it's much easier for them to get started and do that. So the templates out of the box actually provide you with all the frameworks, with the controllers, with the headgears, everything, like all of the actual base input output, which is rigged already. So you don't have to worry about like all of the configuration, programming of all of those, orientations and all of those things. So out of the box is ready to go. Not only that, one of the most challenging things as far as programming was concerned was data synchronization over multi-session, like multi-user applications. There's even a template for that now, which out of the box works. So pretty much you can just, you know, uh, create a project based on those templates and just build and run them, deploy it to your headset, and you're ready to go, right? Of course, that's a very simple example, but all of those basic building blocks that a dev or a team would need, it's already inside that template, right? It's not going to solve all of your cases, but pretty much, let's say like 60 to 70% of the cases out of the box, it's already there. And then you'll have to customize a few of them here and there based on your use case.
So I remember previously it was like done with like Photon, right? I think for like networking. So it's like that kind of an capability built into Unity now.
Yeah, so historically, Photon was a nice network solution for Unity. There's other solutions as well. The templates themselves, over the course of last few years, Unity has been investing heavily on their cloud services, the backend cloud services. So all of these templates are utilizing Unity's built-in backend cloud services, especially with the networking as well. So it's all self-contained within the Unity ecosystem.
Okay. I'll use this as a foray to go into the getting into VR XR from the like buyer side. That's like the reason I'm networking is a good place to step in is because that's one of the hardest parts is you have like as a business, maybe like you or someone from your company saw XR VR at like a expo or online, Best Buy, and you're like, hey, this would be great for XXX.
Yeah,
And then you're like, oh, and how do I bring it in? Like if I buy one, it doesn't make sense. It has to be like few in order to like have it make the impact or solve the X issue that it needs to solve. Two, I don't want to be the guy responsible for it. Like I don't want that like headache to I want to be the ambassador. I love bringing like new tech into my company, but I don't want to like be the go-to guy for like when everything just doesn't work, and it's not gonna work like initially. Um,
got it,
and
got it.
so yeah, how do you integrate within like that the IT stack within an organization? So that's the hardest part right now, I would
Yeah,
say, for on the buyer side to step in. Luckily, there are tooting our horn a little. There are companies like Knox. We're not the only one. Uh, there's like in Europe, there's Onbound XR, like VR Expert. Here, there's like few more that we can help take that like integration headache out uh, out from your shoulders. All right. So and the other good part is there are a lot of like good solutions that already exist that are solving like a lot of good business use cases. If I were to take like um, the business and enterprise part of VR, it doesn't matter what industry, it all boils down to T and L, I guess, like training and learning.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether it's healthcare, it's like manufacturing, XXX. Um, yeah, there might be like one collaboration and design part, but that's like a little separate one. But its main core of it right now is learning and training.
Correct.
Like X, how do I teach a colleague a new skill faster? How do I make like maintenance job on a aircraft or a printing machine
Yep.
accessible to someone remotely, where they're able to see what I'm seeing as and maybe even like a digital twin,
Hmm.
and where I can overlay like actual like the lever on the actual device as I like imagine I'm looking through a headset. You're able to see what I'm seeing, and I'm able to project a lever onto the machine, so you know how to
Absolutely.
actually pull it. Or whether
Absolutely.
it's learning a new skill like a digital twin of like a certain machine or a building, or even if it's learning like social skills, right? Like how to give a speech. Like a good use case of it is like virtual speeches. You're able to like sit with colleagues or like AI colleagues or like in front of like a TEDx auditorium, give a speech, get feedback through AI. So
Yep.
again,
Yep.
learning and training. And there are a lot of good, like we have a lot of good partners that each of them solves a really good use case like that. Um, that is like you don't have to make it for your use case. It will help you like understand what it is, incorporate that into the headset, and give you a headset or like a fleet of headsets uh, that you can easily integrate into your existing stack and help you maintain that, so you can just use it at your work and like prove. Right now we're at like a POC place, like a proof of concept, like so 10 to 20 headset to prove that this kind of thing will be good for your uh, X like business unit.
Yeah.
So we'll help like do that whole integration and like get you something that works. So we also launched like a one more tooting my own horn, and I'll stop like a heads in headset campaign where you can order, you can sign up to have a demo kit sent to your company for like 5 days with like a sushi menu of 5 apps, like kind of like Apple TV style. No, not Netflix with inundated a lot of content.
Yeah.
So you can just try it. Try it. If it works, it works. You guys like it, we'll help you scale it. If not, send it back. So
Okay. Yeah. I saw
that's on
that.
the buyer side.
Yeah, I saw that new offering that you guys have. I think it's really nice. I think one of the pain points as far as the bigger companies are concerned, the enterprise, is the actual uh, deployment of the applications over to all of the headsets that they have, and how to manage that and how to control that, including the security of it. Technically, we call it provisioning, right? So how do you actually
Yeah.
provision? How do we provision these headsets properly? Uh, Especially if we have high numbers of units, and how to integrate that with the existing infrastructure. So I think those are still uh, big problems that need some sort of a solution out there.
Yeah, right now there's like on the provisioning side, like there's three main players. Quest for Business, so that's like Meta's solution for fleet management, Manage XR, and Arbor XR. They're all really good. Like for each one is really good. They're all good overall, but each one like better for certain things. So like as you said, like security is number one on for some companies, and some companies it's more important to be able to deploy a changed app every other day. I don't know. So it depends on like what the goal is. But the good thing is like there exist solutions that we can easily integrate it and give it to them like ready to use. Yeah, that's my musings on that side.
Awesome. So one more last thing before we depart. Thank you for the time, Taron. So AW is coming up 2025. It's gonna be here in Long Beach. And I have a couple of ideas I want to entertain with you sometime. We'll do it offline. But there's some potential. First of all, are you guys planning on attending that particular event? Do you guys?
Not as a booth. I have a secret project I'm working on, so maybe next year, like I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, we'll talk about it offline.
Yeah, it's like a hardware product. Um, but maybe if it's ready by then, we'll do it. But this year I might just attempt to just browse around and like meet friends.
Meet and greet. Have some
Yeah,
nice conversations with colleagues.
yeah.
Very cool. All right. Thank you very much, Taron. It's always a pleasure. Let me know if there's any last words you want to send out to the audience. Otherwise, what's the best way? Maybe share the website, people, if they want to check out the website, or reach out to you
Sure.
if they have any questions, comments.
Okay, I'll say a few things and then closing statements. So website, you can go to knoxlabs.com, knoxlabs.com. This feels like an infomercial on TV, www.knoxlabs.com.
There you go. You gotta make it fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can like ping us there, or you can like email me at taron@knoxlabs.com. One interesting thing like that's been very interesting to me on the where I see the one part of the industry heading is I have this thesis I want to test out is can we give like people superpowers when using XR, but give it superpowers should come easy. They shouldn't. I'm not a proponent of suffering to get it. I'm a proponent of like few suffer, build it easier for others. So what I mean is like XR to me seems like a natural place where parts of AI will start to evolve and do things. And a lot of it we don't know. We don't know how it's gonna look like, right? Like when the internet was first made, like you didn't know there was gonna be Stripe existent that you could split payments and do lots of like magic with money on the back end as a developer. Like you couldn't come up with that scenario. So a lot of it is gonna seem like very basic right now, until better things are come up with, right? Like OpenAI, for example, released like a to-do list as like their first one of their first like things. Like it seems silly because it's a to-do list, but because it's like so new, there aren't like new things developed on it yet. But what I see with XR and AI is what this is the idea. If as like more developers are turning into agentic developers, right? Like, so as a developer now, you're using open AI tools, maybe like Anthropic Cloud, Cursor AI, whatever, all these like layers where you're using these tools to talk to the legacy systems, like for example, like it's Amazon, Instagram, Instacart, I don't know, like Audiogram. You're putting together, like you're making one talk to the other, and you're kind of like you're a human in the loop developer. So you're writing like an agent that does things across several services, right? Goes like purchases from Amazon, captures that, maybe takes a screenshot, sends it here, throws it into like an Excel, pushes it to a podcast. It's a lot of like things moving
Multi-agents.
around. Yeah, between APIs. So you're more of like a conductor in a sense. But in order to do this, like to build with AI now, like I've built a few things. It's not easy. You still have to be technical. And I want to understand if we can lower that threshold. What if we took like development into a extrapolated like to an immersive layer, to like, so 3D is one more layer, one more dimension than 2D. And most of our apps and all of our like services are built on 2D screens. So if I were to extrapolate the developer to a higher dimension, and give them tools to build initially these like agents, right, for the 2D world without knowing any technical things. Like imagine just like something very simple, right? Like my agent is a box in my hand where I can take Twitter's X's API, feed it into it, and then I can put a camera in the box that takes a shot of X and then feeds it out to, for example, like Spotify, as feed it to like a GPT, and then that feeds it to Spotify for a podcast, for example. Like if I were to do this right now on a flat screen, it takes a lot of technical knowledge. But if I could play around with my hands and like and build agents that are reactive also to the environment, and pass it on to others as like building blocks. If we elevate the developer, maybe we can give everyone superpowers. So like you put on XR for like 30 minutes, you can do more, develop there better and faster than someone on a flat screen for like a day, for example. That's my
I get it.
thesis.
So can I wrap it up, Taron?
Yeah.
What
Okay.
you just said. So
Yeah.
the secret project we are working on is the new upcoming Iron Man suit.
Nice.
Where you can immerse yourself in a very complex but yet easy to use what you might call it environment, and you can have access to not just physical but the digital assets and easily manipulate them to solve the problems in front of you.
It's a good sum up. Yeah, I can fly with that.
Very cool. That would be interesting, actually. And I'm sure like there's someone out there. I had the opportunity, since we were talking about that, and switching gears to something a little more realistic but serious, but that's something that's happening. So the U.S. military right now, it's investing substantial amounts of money and resources in these technologies. Obviously, AI. We just got the latest news from the new administration that they're putting in $500 billion into the new AI infrastructure. And of course, XR is going to be part of that.
Tweeted below that saying like,
yeah,
I love that drama.
Yeah,
they don't have it.
But, correct, they don't have it. But I mean, eventually they are going to get the money,
they
right?
will,
But the key is that they're actually thinking about it, and there's a lot of really smart people behind that initiative that they want to make it happen. And I think eventually it will happen. So um, so the government, the military specifically, has been playing around with this technology for a lot of long time, actually, really long time, and more so in the past few years. So I wouldn't be surprised to actually have some people actually working on that Iron Man suit with all of the visualizations and the intelligence from the different data sources that uh, they receive to plan for their operations and etc. So it's gonna be a very, very uh, interesting few years in the next, I would say, 5 to 10 years. It's gonna be super interesting as far as what we might see.
Yeah, I'm not a proponent of like XR being the next medium and everyone should be in it and immersed into it. I'm more of a proponent against using it as a better tool, better thing for some things, and using it as like a third surface,
Yeah,
like your PC or mobile, and then this. Like it's not a one winner all, and neither I nor I want everyone to be in a in a parallel like
correct.
world in all the time. It's something I can use to give me superpowers when I need to, and then take it off. That's how I'm looking at it. But this is fun, Vajan. Thank you so much.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Have a great rest of the day and talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.